everybody, and welcome to the Fandom Flux Podcast, episode 122. I'm your host, Casey, and with me we have...
Forget our names.
Zero.
I got off my deathbed and came to come see you guys. I was so sick the past few times.
And Slicer.
Hello.
And Kenchua.
Hi, I'm Kenchi618, the antidote for road rage.
Well, the cause.
Claim.
What?
The antidote for road rage.
How? I don't get it. I don't get one of Kenji's jokes, guys. I feel so
I don't think
bad.
you're supposed to.
Oh.
I think he means that when people are angry and they read his stories, they feel inspired to go out and punch things with their anger instead, rather than just sit and
not
stew
a
in it.
cure.
That's not what I meant. In fact, I'm
That's
pretty sure.
like literally the opposite of a cure.
The road rage gets out of you one way or another.
An enabler. That was the word I was looking for. God damn
You
it.
confuse and frighten me sometimes, Zero.
Thank you.
Sometimes. All right. Usual thing we do. What do we do? What do we do, guys?
What we're doing.
That's what we're doing. All right. So what are we doing? Slicer.
I went to see Deadpool on Sunday, so that was pretty great. It's a surprisingly good movie. I've kind of always maintained that the 15 minutes that Wade Wilson was on screen in X-Men Origins was the best part of that movie.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And then he turned into Deadpool and was silent because they sealed his lips shut. It was so fucking stupid. Anyway, so it was like an entire movie of that greatness, and it was very good. I really recommend going to see it.
I want to see it. I knew it was going to be good because Ryan Reynolds killed it for the 15 minutes he was allowed to actually talk. So I figured if he was given 2 hours, he would do awesome. And I'm glad to be
pretty much, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds kind of kills it no matter what he does, more or less.
Like, he was perfect for that Deadpool role. Like, ever since that movie, ever since X-Men Origins, I can't do anything but read Deadpool in his voice.
Yeah. I mean, there was Blade Trinity, which really no one should talk about. But if they talk about it, they should probably be talking about how that one time Ryan Reynolds called someone a thunder cunt, and I'm not sure what to do with that. That's sort of just stuck in my memory, and I can't get rid of it. But
I'm pretty sure he calls someone a thunder cunt in Deadpool, so...
Oh, well, reference. That's what Deadpool does, right?
He does reference Blade 3 in it, though. He references Blade, actually.
Well, Blade Trinity was Blade 3.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it doesn't specifically say Blade 3, but he does reference Blade in the movie.
Also, Green Lantern.
Yes, Green Lantern is mentioned.
Any color but green.
Multiple times.
Yeah. Which is a shame, because it was still an okay movie.
It wasn't bad. Wasn't as bad as people make it out to be. So, let's see. After that, school, work, more school, more work. That was about it.
Okay.
I finished Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I started binging Ruby last night. So, I'll be caught up within the next few days.
Yeah, because I think I mentioned... Was it last week or was it Tuesday?
It was
Saturday?
It was last week.
Oh, cool. Yeah. Ruby kind of killed it this season. Literally. Yeah. I don't know whether our audience actually watches Ruby on a regular basis or watched it at any point. But if you did and you were kind of pissed off with the sweet and saccharine crap in the first 2 seasons, yeah, that goes out the window a little bit this season. Wow. So yeah, that's actually a good show again. Yay. The novelty was great for the first season, then the second season it's like, okay, are you actually going to do something with the plot?
Yeah,
Turns out
it kind of went in circles.
Turns out, yes, they just needed another year for it. That's fine. That's
Okay.
that's fine. Some shippers are going to be mad, but whatever. Anyway, so that slice is done. Let's go with zero. Zero tends to go last, I think. So
Yeah, I tend to go last. I wonder why.
you're going
So
early now. Shut up.
so I saw Deadpool 2, and I have to say it's probably my favorite superhero movie. Because I am a big Deadpool fan, so I got a lot of the references to comics. Um, I That movie, by the way, is making a lot of money, a lot of money. It they made it on a budget of 58 million, which is really low for a superhero movie. And opening weekend, it brought in like 260 million internationally. So you want to obviously get a big profit margin, which Fox really did, and they were surprised by that. And everybody's scrambling and trying to figure out why exactly Deadpool was able to do such a good job and how it did so well.
Really? They have to
Yeah,
wonder that?
yeah, that's what some people are wondering. It's just like, well, Deadpool already is an immensely popular character. His comics always sell well, and they were very faithful to the comics. Like freaking Colossus. He is Colossus from the comics, not like the wimpy little dude they have in the other X-Men movies, the older ones. He's a big Russian dude with a big heart, and that's exactly Colossus, and it's done very well. The characters are all portrayed exactly how they should be for once. Uh, there's some movies where yeah they can do it, but it was nice to see these characters done justice. And Ryan Reynolds is Deadpool, like Wolverine is Hugh Jackman, or Tony Stark is Iron Man. Yeah,
Don't you mean,
very
Robert
never
Downey
mind.
Jr. is.
Yeah.
well,
Robert
whatever.
Downey Jr.
Robert
is
Downey
Iron Man.
Jr.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tony Stark is also Iron Man.
I
But
can't even remember his name because I just remember him as Tony Stark. That's how much he is Tony Stark. Literally,
I'm,
it's like you see, like when that Sherlock movie came out, and I was like, oh look, it's Tony Stark. He's being Sherlock Holmes now. So
Sherlock Holmes on vacation playing a detective. Or, I mean, Tony Stark on vacation.
yeah, I know that's what it feels like. But
yeah,
uh,
I mean, I agree with you on the Ryan Reynolds thing. I mean,
yeah,
he was kind of playing that character
his entire life.
before. Yeah, I mean, Two Guys and a Girl. He was basically playing that character even back then. That was like what, 20 years ago, around about that. It's kind of insane.
Fun fact: the first person who saw Deadpool was actually a cancer patient, a kid.
Oh,
So that was
cool.
kind of cool. Uh, and he's been poking
Zero,
fun at
quick
Hugh
question.
Jackman. Yeah.
The I forget her name. Supersonic female teen heroine or whatever the fuck her
No,
name
no,
was.
a Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
Yeah, her. Is she an actual character from anything, or did they just make her for
Yes,
this
she
movie?
she appears in one comic.
Huh.
So we've got a
Okay.
Squirrel Girl thing going on
You know
then, I
why? You
guess.
know why they went with Colossus and her? Because they couldn't afford anybody else. Because they had a really limited budget. Because they wanted to make it rated R. They didn't want to
Oh,
lose
so
too
that
much
joke
money.
was actually real. It wasn't
Yes,
wasn't
yes.
really a joke.
They wanted to include Wolverine and Moon Knight and all these other characters, but they didn't have the budget. It's like you can get a bigger budget if you do PG-13, but we're taking a risk because our movies don't typically tend to get a big profit return, which they just proved wrong.
Hmm.
They
Very.
also set the record for biggest opening weekend for an R-rated movie ever, beating Matrix Reloaded, which was like 98 million. Yeah, Deadpool's a good movie. I suggest you guys go see it when you get the chance, if you haven't seen it.
That's
I
the plan.
I intend to.
Um, the whole thing's funny from start to finish. Uh, Also, since I've not been on for a few weeks, not really much has happened. I've been doing a lot of school, a lot of work. However, just recently, Um, one person in the same day, one person from my work quit and another got fired. Because they got into an argument with the manager about, like there was an inspection and they almost made a critical error that could have caused us to fail. Actually, they did make that error, but the inspector didn't see it. And so my boss pulled him aside and said, "Hey, you shouldn't be doing this," and the guy got really upset and said, "Oh, you're always disrespecting me," and then he quit and just walked out on the shift.
Okay, he's not getting a good reference then.
Yeah,
No.
somebody else didn't show up to the shift on the same day, and they had to get fired. So we're now two people short at my work, and my work doesn't have a lot of people working for it. So yeah.
Job
Wait.
fair time.
Is that a regular thing that he didn't show up for work, or that seems weird? He just get
Well,
fired
somebody else
instantly.
didn't show up for work. They missed their shift because nobody told them apparently. Even though there's a text that goes out with all of our schedules to everybody
Ah,
that works. So yeah, guess she didn't show up. So she got fired. So we're down two people, and that means I have to work later hours than I was going to on Saturday, which sucks. I have to work
Yeah.
8 a.m. to 6 p.m., which is
ouch.
not fun. So, other than that, been doing some of the D&D stuff with the guys.
Well, we've been trying.
Yeah, we've been trying. It is hard because I have to plan everything out, and at the same time I also have school and work, and we can't always get together. So, as for how everything's going, I think it's pretty fun. The short session I did with Casey and Slicer and Emily went pretty well, although I didn't get to finish it because I went and had to see Deadpool. Because believe me, there was nothing that was going to stop me from seeing Deadpool.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of been waiting for it ever since X-Men Origins Wolverine. And Ryan Reynolds said, "No, I want to make a new Deadpool movie." So, long time coming.
Gambled on himself and he won.
Yeah, yeah, he did, which is the best gamble. Um, Trying to think what else really happened. I mean, I'm getting the new Fire Emblem game on well, actually tomorrow, but
Figured you
The
would.
Fates one?
yeah.
Mm.
And that should be good. I got the special edition, so I'm getting all three paths in one game, which is like basically three games in one. Uh,
That's not go overboard, but yeah.
yeah, that's how it's marketed, is what I mean.
Mm.
Um, Granted, there's like there is like it's I feel like part of it should be all on one cartridge to begin with, but from what I'm hearing, there's a large amount of content completely separate from each path. So it's enough for them to market it as a full game, I guess. I don't know. That whole thing's shady. A lot of controversy surrounding that game, so I'm looking forward to having a fun time with it. Uh, I tried The Witness, that new game that came out, but I got stuck. Like there was a glitch that happened. The Witness, in case you don't know, it's for like PC and PS4. It's like a puzzle game that I keep hearing is really good. So I tried it out, and I got stuck on this puzzle. And by that I mean I had the right answer, and it wouldn't accept it. And then all of a sudden, the answers that I went back on another puzzle to see it works like this, right? And the answer I used that previously solved the puzzle no longer worked, and I was trapped in an area and I couldn't get out.
Oh,
So yeah,
is it
little
like
bit.
still in early access or something, or what?
I
Or is it
think there
just
was
a?
a. I think they're like they released a patch since I played it, but I just kind of like that kind of soured me on it. So puzzle games are fun, I guess, except for when the puzzles aren't actually solvable. That kind of hurts. So
Okay.
that's it for my week.
All right. Kenchwa.
All right. So this week, haven't quite done anything yet, but I plan to very soon. I haven't seen Deadpool yet. Going to see that. It's also going to get the new Street Fighter game today. After this, I'm going to go get it. I won't be able to play it till tomorrow, but I'm going to get it because it makes me feel good to have it in my possession. So
why can't you play it?
Because after this, I have to get ready to go to work tonight.
Oh, right.
Makes sense to me.
And also, in addition to that, I'm pretty sure Tekken's supposed to be coming out at the end of this week as well. And then Far Cry Primal. And I'm getting all of those things. So it's going to be very busy with next week.
Wait, Tekken and Street Fighter coming out in the same week?
I'm pretty sure. Let me double check.
That sounds like a stupid thing for those companies to do.
Well, they don't play the same.
They don't, but they're two different fighting games coming out around the same time. That's basically asking to split the audience.
Yeah, each one has their own dedicated fan base.
They do, but that's not all there is to selling a game.
There is overlap, and quite a bit of it.
I imagine some people will just get both.
Some might, yes, like Ken, that have some disposable income. A lot of people don't have that much disposable income.
Oh, never mind.
You're not quite getting
about it.
It's not coming. It's not coming out yet. Don't worry about it. It's not coming out yet. My bad. I don't know where
Okay.
I saw that. But yeah, I guess it's just this Far Cry then, which I have no problem.
It looked okay for an Ubisoft open world game.
Oh,
I actually have not seen anything about it.
I just remembered Fallout announced more DLC. Fallout 4.
They did.
Yeah. Because
Sure
and,
enough.
and some of that stuff is just like, this could just be a mod.
It really could. One of them is design your own robot. One is you can create an arena and get creatures to fight in
You can
it.
capture live monsters and get taxidermy and stuff through your settlements. And like, these could be mods.
I don't care about any of these things.
They probably already are mods,
No.
in fairness.
No, they aren't mods because Bethesda hasn't released the creator kit.
Alright. Well, they could be mods. Like,
Yeah, they could be mods.
just because they haven't released the creation kit doesn't mean there aren't
They haven't released the
already
creation kit.
several thousand mods on the Nexus, okay?
They haven't released the creation kit, so these DLC packs will sell.
That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, and the other one is Far Harbor.
Yeah,
which
that's like an actual like expansion.
It is a moderate expansion, yes.
It costs $25.
Yeah, it's like an island that you go to that has a colony of synths on it, I think. Something like that.
Yeah.
More goddamn synths.
They're all synths. Oh, Team 4-Star's playthrough of Fallout 4 is hilarious.
I stopped watching after episode 1. I was bored already.
They found Father and then they punched him and killed him the moment he stepped through the door.
That's a fair reaction to that shithead. Yeah.
And then they got the Grognak costume, and now they're just eating people with cannibalism perk as they run around hitting things with the Deathclaw gauntlet.
I love that one.
Wow, Captain Ravage has gone completely knocking futz.
Yeah, he's lost it. It's gotten a lot more fun.
Also, Captain Ravage the Third, thank you.
Sorry.
All right, what were you saying, Kenshi?
Nothing. I don't think I had anything else really.
Okay. My stuff. What the fuck have I done this week?
I don't know what
Nothing.
happened
Oh,
this
right.
week.
My fucking power went out on Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. Uh, yeah, and no, wait, not my power. I'm being dumb. No, not my power. My internet. My internet went down. So that was a fun 8 hours of no internet.
That you didn't know what to do.
I literally didn't. I thought, okay, is the internet back up yet? No. Okay, I guess I'll read this chapter while I wait for the internet to come back up. Okay, I read that chapter. Is the internet back up yet? No. Um. Okay.
It never
Uh.
is.
Okay. Well, I've still got all these other tabs, so I can read these too. So is the internet back up yet? Mm,
Oh, how reliant we have become on the internet.
okay, I guess I've not got much better now. Screw it, I'll write a chapter. Start writing a chapter. And,
Yeah, how long that
what was
lasts?
this? What was this guy's name again? Is the internet back up yet? Oh, okay. So, yeah, I managed to crank out another chapter that I have sent to Slicer. I don't know whether he's received it or even seen it
I got it.
yet. Oh, cool. Um, yeah, so I managed that, and
I wish I had time to write a chapter. I wish I did. It's just I have no free time.
well, this is still my holiday, and that ends on Monday. That's my last day of it, and then I'm back in on work on Tuesday. Um, yeah, so I managed to get something written, and all it took was removing every distraction in the world ever.
Forcibly removing every distraction.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. So, yay! I can be productive. No, I can't. I'm kidding myself. Yeah, so did that. Uh, played some Dark Souls, got some stupid shit out of the way. I hate that game. I just want it to end.
What about Dark Souls 3 though? That's
That's pretty
just
much
right around
why I want it to end.
that's right around the corner.
It's in April. And if we time it right, we should be finishing the Dark Souls 2 Let's Play before that comes out. That's the plan, anyway. Um, aside from that, what the fuck else did I do this week? There must have been something else. I've had all of this spare time. I
No.
did nothing else.
Most
Were
of that
you
spare time was because the
reading?
internet was out, and you spent that spare time wishing the internet would come back on. So no, you did nothing else.
I did. Random A was kind of a thing that ballooned on me a little bit, but we'll talk about that later. I have officially given up on Arrow in its entirety.
Oh, what happened?
I don't know whether I talked about it before on the show. Season 3 of Arrow.
Hold
Uh,
on. Let's everyone I'm about to say some stuff that you may or may not want to hear. So you might want to tune out for a few minutes.
if anyone still cares about the plot of Arrow, there is something wrong with them and their understanding of how writing works and how to tell a good story. Anyway, so Season 3 of Arrow. Oliver Queen does some shady shit to try and beat Ra's al Ghul. Literally everyone in the world calls him on it and says what a dick he's being and that he shouldn't be killing people so indiscriminately. Uh, yeah, that lasts for the entire season. Felicity Smoke cries in every episode. It's horrendous. But I endured. Season 4 comes out. It's pretty okay. Up until the last couple of episodes. Malcolm Merlyn does some bad shit. He's Malcolm Merlyn. It's kind of his thing. And literally every character that was giving Oliver Queen shit about killing people immediately turns around and starts demanding that he kill Malcolm Merlyn. Immediately. There is no acknowledgement that this is completely contrary to their entire character arcs the previous season. It it's kind of it's like they didn't even pay attention to what they wrote last year, which kind of explains something about last year, but still. So I've given up on that show. I am sick of the nonsense and back and forth storytelling that doesn't go anywhere, constantly repeating character arcs, copy and pasting storylines. I'm sick of it at this point. So screw it. That show is basically dead to me at this point.
It's so funny. I remember back when you first like, oh man, Arrow is so good.
It was. The first two seasons still remain some fantastic television, but no.
This actually reminds me of, in terms of bad writing ruining shows, Fairly Odd Parents. If you guys
That's
if you guys know that that show should have died a long time ago, and just now
Yeah,
they introduced a Mary Sue as one of the protagonists,
Is it
and it's
still
now
going?
yes,
yeah,
it
it's still
is
going.
still going somehow. And I saw that I just saw a video on this. Like I wasn't watching the show or anything. I just randomly saw a video on this, and they introduce a character called Chloe, who now has Timmy now has to share his godparents with, and it is literally the very definition of Mary Sue fan fiction. Timmy is out of character. He's super selfish and mean, and Chloe is literally described as perfect, which he's introduced, and everybody likes her immediately, even Timmy's own parents. And her flaw isn't even really a
Wow.
flaw. It's just that, oh, I sometimes I screw things up. That's her flaw. That's a character flaw. And she basically takes over the role of main character and kind of shoves Timmy to the side. So basically, Mary Sue fanfiction. They even changed the opening theme to include her.
I don't even watch that show anymore, and I'm pissed off to hear that.
Yeah,
I have no idea what that show is.
Don't worry
so
about it. It's not important.
it's a cartoon, and they ruined it with Mary Sue fanfiction. That's all you need to know.
Okay,
Pretty much.
I'll take your word for it. I'm still not going to care. Um, I think that's pretty much my week. Oh, did I mention Legends of Tomorrow and how good it is at any point?
No, I
No.
don't think
It's
so.
pretty fucking good. People should watch it.
What is it?
It's a bunch of characters from the DC television universe because apparently the cinematic universe said fuck these guys because they're idiots. Um, like seriously, they basically built the entire Justice League for you, and you're saying fuck you too. Anyway, um, a bunch of characters from the Arrow and Flash series get pulled together for time travel shenanigans with a character played by an actor that used to be on Doctor Who, and it's pretty great. Like Captain Cold is in it, and he basically steals the show. It's
Ice
really
to
good.
meet you, Captain Cold. Makes me think of Mr. Freeze.
It really shouldn't. Very different characters,
I know, but
but
it's
yeah.
that's so cold of
So
you, Casey.
shut up, Zero. So it's Captain Cold, Heatwave, uh, Firestorm, both of them, um, White Canary, uh,
Oh man, whatever happened to
uh,
Black Canary? It's racist.
she's still alive and still in Arrow
Oh,
and still annoying.
oh.
Anyway, and Hawkman, Hawk Woman. Is it Hawk Woman or Hawk Girl? I honestly don't know.
Uh,
I don't know, actually.
like my first response was Hawk Girl, but Hawk
You mean
Woman?
Shaira, right?
Yeah, it's
Okay.
her. Yes. So, and the Atom as well.
Yay, the Atom. He's
Yeah.
turned tiny and become Ant-Man. Same character.
Yeah. It's basically Iron Man, Ant Man at this point.
Yeah.
Combination of the two. But yeah, it's pretty damn good. It does. Hmm. I'm tempted to try and sell people on it, but it ends up like with spoiling stuff. Basically, the entire plot of the series is trying to kill Vandal Savage permanently. Who, yeah, there are apparently ways to do that, but it has to be done by like one of the Hawk people for reasons.
Do they have the MacGuffin of instant death?
Well, no, their maces cancel magic, right? That's how it works, or something like that.
It's a television adaptation, so they change a lot of things. Basically, he is tied pretty much intrinsically to those two characters, so they are the only ones that can kill him because they reincarnate, and every time they reincarnate, Vandal Savage kills them and steals their life force, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
It's still pretty good. I mean,
What's
like
it called again?
Legends of Tomorrow.
Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah. So basically, in the 22nd century, Vandal Savage basically takes over the world, kills a bunch of people, and time agent Rip Hunter decides to go on a one-man crusade to stop him before he can do that, because, time traveler. So he picks up a bunch of people who he says are super important and amazing people and significant and thus would be able to do this. Turns out he's totally lying. I'm spoiling it a little bit, but he's totally lying. They were completely fucking inconsequential and didn't matter at all.
And that's why he took them, basically?
Yeah, basically. Because it wouldn't damage the timeline so much by taking them.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That would hurt to hear.
Yeah, a little bit. So it's pretty great. The character dynamics are surprisingly well done for a bunch of characters that got maybe a couple of episodes of screen time. Like, if you don't include... Well, some of them got some, but like Firestorm didn't get too much, at least the new one. And Hawkman and Hawk person basically got 2 episodes for their intro that was basically just a pilot for the spin-off. So, but the character dynamics work well, and it's entertaining to watch the interactions between like career criminals and super boy scout fucking Atom. I don't know whether he has the same name in comics, so I'm using superhero names. Yeah, so that's a good show. People should watch it. Fun time travel shenanigans with a bunch of cool characters, and Arthur Darvill, who was the best companion in Doctor Who ever. Is anyone not gone? I think I was last this time.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so that's what we're doing done. So next we have Random A.
Yay. I'm actually excited this week.
Zero, did you watch it?
I have not been on for 2 weeks, and I didn't.
I did send the email about what we were supposed to be watching.
I didn't get it, or I didn't look it, or I didn't read it.
It's Batman Beyond. Have you seen?
Oh, Batman Beyond? I have that stuff. I saw that a long time ago. I don't even need to freaking watch it. I know what it is.
You should be fine then.
I love Batman Beyond.
So,
Sure.
Batman Beyond. Go.
All right. So
I actually completely forgot about the gun thing.
Did that was powerful. That was a powerful scene.
Yeah, that was.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I
Exactly.
I forgot about it, but.
Okay, so basically, if you guys don't remember what happened last week, let's see. About a few years after the original, Batman animated series that was on in the '90s and whatnot, that's when this show pretty much starts, or the prologue of this show starts. A Batman.
Yeah, it was basically designed by executive meddling. Some executives said, "Hey, this Batman series, it was pretty okay, but maybe we try and mix it up a little. See if we can get that Buffy crowd watching one of our shows, huh? Huh? Let's try something like that, huh?"
What? It worked.
It did work. It was very well done. I mean, executive meddling can be shitty at some points, but I mean, if you get some good staff on it, then you can still turn shit into gold if you're lucky.
So Bruce Wayne's old is an old ass man. Well, not as old as he will be, but he's like middle aged, older than he should be doing Batman stuff. But
Like in
he's
his 50s, kind of thing.
and he's still doing Batman stuff. So
Mm.
his body is not as spry as it used to be after years of ass whoopings and the stress of being Batman. And while he's fighting a group of random people who just kidnapped a girl, he ends up having a heart attack during the fight and ends up getting his ass kicked, almost gets killed, and ends up having to like pick up a gun to like get rid of one of the last dude who ends up running off. And he realized he was about to shoot this guy and kill him to save himself. And that's when he realized I can't do this anymore and just basically retires from being Batman.
If he can't fight off some thugs, how's he going to fight one of his regular rogues, basically?
Pretty
Without
much.
resorting to murdering them.
Yeah.
Shoot them in the leg.
Yeah, I mean, I did mention that he basically says never again last week when I was doing basically the entire intro. And yeah, he literally says never again. I forgot about that. Apparently, I was quoting the show without realizing it. Um, so yeah, flash forward to 20 something something. Um, and Terry McGinnis is a dude. He's kind of cool ish. Oh, sorry, he's kind of Shway. Um,
Really?
don't be such a spud, can't she?
God damn it. That's the one thing I hate about the show. It's the only thing I hate about the
Really?
show. Yes.
You hated the fake slang?
I hate that shit.
I love the fake slang.
Continue.
Oh, so yeah, he's going somewhere to do something. I forget what. Anyway, taking a train or subway car or whatever. And a dude in Joker makeup shows up and starts spray painting over a news broadcast. You remember the Joker, guys?
Yeah, one of the
Is
greatest.
it not kind of depressing to see that this is his legacy?
Yep. The
Somehow?
Jokers with a Z because they're
Yeah.
dangerous.
Mm,
And edgy.
yeah. So the Joker is, you know, his legacy is a gang of
Mooks. They're mooks. They're all mooks.
mooks, basically. Yeah. Um,
Well, that's all that
that
he left behind.
well, that's true, I
That's
guess.
kind of
Yeah.
funny. I mean, it's poetic. Oh,
Is it? Is it funny?
yeah, it is.
Is it a good joke?
It's a pretty good joke.
Yeah.
The worst villain in the original Batman's history is nothing but a bunch of cannon fodder mooks, rich, like just for the reboot. It's kind of gross.
I mean, it's not like he had an heir or something, you know?
I kind of did, but that's.
Let's not get into that right now.
Mm-hmm.
Shh, don't talk about that. That's spoilers.
It's so good though.
Yeah.
People should watch that if nothing else.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so Joker does what well, a Joker does what a Joker will do and is a dick. So Terry kicks his ass. It's like, cool, okay. This could be a Batman kind of thing. Almost. Well, no. He's just basically a teenager that knows somewhat how to fight. Um, later on, for various reasons, he gets chased down by some of these jokers on a really oddly intense bike chase for teenage idiots, like jumping off of an overpass. It's kind of
Yeah, that was... What? How did that happen?
yeah,
Don't
but
worry about it. He's
let's
Batman.
let's not yeah. Fuck it. It's a proof that he could be a Batman. Sure, why not? So Terry gets chased to Wayne Manor, and Bruce Wayne is there with a cane. He's old and grumpy,
And he has a dog.
and he has a dog.
That dog is a dick.
Dog is a dick. He's not.
It's
You're
the
not wrong.
Bat Dog. It's actually Ace. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's Bat Dog.
So yeah, basically, Terry and Bruce Wayne kick the asses of all of the Jokers that have been chasing him down. It's kind of awesome.
Yeah. Then
I
Bruce
mean,
Wayne tells him to get the fuck off his property.
Get off my lawn, you
and
stupid kid.
yeah, and then has an attack of the disease. Um, so Terry helps him inside the house because he asked him to. Um, and basically Terry discovers, hey, Batcave. You know, events happen. Uh, Significant villains of the series are brought in. By the way, one of those were played by
George Takei.
George Takei. Was not expecting
really?
that. Didn't even realize that the first time I watched it. Yeah, Mr. Fix, played by George Takei.
Hello.
Yeah, the guy with the scar over his eye. Yeah, that was him.
Oh.
It was weird.
Yeah, huh.
Yeah, he dies in episode 2. It's kind of sad, but still.
Oh.
Um, yeah, so basically, through a series of events, basically Terry stealing the bat suit after his dad gets killed, trying to hunt down the guy that did it. Um, Terry McGinnis becomes the new Batman, and he's okay at it, which is appropriate for the timing of it. He's not a spectacular Batman, but he's okay at dealing with the kind of schmucks that have just started cropping up. Like, it's almost like how you would expect it to be as Batman, like the original Batman started doing stuff. Like, there weren't all these super insane criminals running around. It was just a bunch of dumbasses doing stupid shit, more or less. And that's pretty much what you have here. Like, a bunch of not amazingly competent, but competent enough to become a threat villains. And it handles itself pretty well as far as those villains are concerned. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I watched the entire first series when this came up on Random A. The whole thing.
I wanted
Um,
to, but I didn't have time.
yeah, and it introduces a bunch of interesting villains. Like Blight was never particularly interesting at all. Like his origin kind of mirrored the Joker a little bit, at least in certain adaptations, but not that interesting a villain. Just corrupt CEO, great. That's all we get. Um, but some of the others, like the new Royal Flush Gang, uh, which I'm assuming has a member that was in the original Royal Flush Gang from the Batman the Animated Series. Um, Inc. was an interesting one. They bring back Mr. Freeze for a really, really good episode. Like, that's probably one of the highlights of the entire show, is that episode. I think they do it again in a later season and it's worse, but still. Um, Spellbinder, the kid with the golem, with that is the most stereotypical geeky stereotype of stereotypes of geekiness ever.
Well, yeah,
It's,
you have to
it's
stick with the
still
stereotypes.
it's not terribly done, and Venom sort
New
of
new Venom.
re-emerging.
New Venom.
Yeah,
Slappers.
yeah, slappers. Yeah, not so keen on the name, uh, but still, I mean, let's be fair. Some of these plots and how they're carried out are good enough that they've actually been ripped off by other shows. Like the Slapper plot was basically copied almost word for word in an episode of Arrow.
I mean, I loved it, especially the ending when they showed Vegetable Bane.
Yeah, it's kind of sad. Like you get a lot of that in the show is a lot of all these characters that were so powerful and inspiring and horrifying and disturbing, and they all just kind of
Evil gets old too, I guess. I don't know.
yeah. Mm. yeah, it's kind of poignant that way. So it's pretty cool. Also, Barbara Gordon is the commissioner.
Aha!
Get it? Though I do like the send up of the Killing Joke. Yeah, when she reveals that she was Batgirl. That brand of costume justice went down with the Tommy gun kid. That was a pretty good line. Uh, it's a good show, and I don't. I think they tried to revive it with comics at one point, or at several points.
Yeah, there were comics.
Mm.
Each Batman. Batman.
From what I read on TV Tropes, not so great. I mean, in fairness, I was reading like a bullet points list of plot turns, but it just it didn't seem like how I would want that plot to go. I don't know. It was a while ago that I read it, so I don't really remember much, but still, for what we got, which was the 3 seasons and the film, it's a pretty worthwhile entry in the Batman canon, to be honest with you. Like in the DC canon as a whole.
I almost wish instead of Terry McGinnis, we got some kind of Red Hood style vigilante, though. It seems like, murdering all of the criminals would fix the problem a lot better than just beating them up. Gotham was like too far gone.
Never heard that argument before. Sorry, it's. I go back and forth on whether that argument annoys me or is sensible.
Slicer, first of all, this was a show meant for kids.
I'm aware.
Kind of. I mean, some of this shit was not meant for kids. Like, people died in the show. People did die in the show.
Yeah, they did.
And people use steroids.
I do like what we got. It's just, I'm just saying. Gotham is really far gone at that point.
Okay. Ken, the using steroids thing was literally an after-school special, so you can't include that.
Mama, what? Those aren't mine. I found them. Back will slap.
Yeah, that literally happens in the episode. Yeah, so it was pretty cool. What did people think of the Max thing? I think that was a name.
I mean,
the what?
His would-be sidekick.
I mean, he needed somebody that kind of knew was Batman. Someone else had to know at some point, but I don't know. I'm neutral on it.
I think what they were thinking of doing was making her a Robin. And then at the last minute they decided not to. But the thing is, what I really liked about that change was the character's reaction to it. Like how they handled why she would decide, no, I don't want none of this kind of thing. Because she finds out firsthand what the kind of shit that Terry deals with on a regular basis is like. And it kind of traumatizes her a little bit. So I like how they handled that. That, you don't just pick random people that you know to be Batman or a Batman accomplice. There has to be a good reason for someone to actually get involved with this kind of shit. Which makes a good counterpoint for Barbara Gordon's opinion of the whole thing. That Batman basically suckers in kids to fight his proxy war.
Hey kid, you want to fight my proxy war? I have candy. No, wait, it's not candy. It's just a bat suit.
That lets you fly.
I'd be like, all right.
It wouldn't be very hard to convince Kenshi. I mean, he was sold when the bat suit came out.
It wouldn't be hard to convince a lot of people, that's the thing. But then they actually see what they have to do.
Here's a bat suit. You can now fly and become invisible, and you're a superhero.
And people are going to try and
beat the shit out of people.
cool. And you get like you'll get like a Batmobile and like a whole secret little base. Oh man, this is sounding really fun.
And this dog that hates
Oh,
your guts.
Oh
oh,
man, that kind
also,
of sucks, but I don't care. I can fly.
there's a good chance that someone will show up at your house while you're not wearing your suit that will save your life and will just shoot you in the throat and you'll die.
Oh man, this is gonna be a lot of. Oh wait, what? Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a good show. I kind of wish there was more of it, but I'm kind of glad that there isn't. Like, it's good sometimes when there is a show that just ends on a high note. Like, just doesn't let itself get dragged down by overly long and complicated plots and character relationships. Like, there's something to be said for keeping things simple sometimes, and I think that show managed it quite well.
It ended on a pretty good note, though.
Ish. I mean, it didn't actually get a solid ending.
Yeah, it was like a
In the
season,
show
it was
itself.
like a season ender, not a series ender, but
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
it did get a proper ending in.
Justice League.
I think it was Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was an epilogue that revealed something interesting about the whole thing that I don't
What's
think
that?
we should spoil.
Yeah, we shouldn't really say that.
Okay,
For the
if
show
you don't
that's
want
like 10 years old
if you don't want
or
to be
more.
spoiled and still want to go watch it, then skip ahead about 30 seconds, round about now. I'd suggest you pause the video and do that. Um, so the thing is, in the Justice League cartoons, there was a character called Amanda Waller who did some shady shit. And one of the shady shits that she did was to I don't know where that sentence was going. Was basically to try and create a new Batman, and she did so by uh, implanting his sperm in a woman that was trying to get pregnant or something like that.
I thought it was she overwrote his dad's DNA with Bruce Wayne's DNA.
Something like that, yeah. It was pseudoscience and such that you get from DC, but yeah. So, yeah, that's what that is.
Yeah, the
Terry
only thing she
McGinnis
didn't,
is the heir to the Batman.
the only thing she couldn't do was have some criminal kill his dad or kill his parents. But that ended up fixing itself anyway. Kind
Yeah. Lucky.
I do vaguely remember that, actually. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I think that that's just like that's the kind of comic book thing that they're always trying to do. They're always trying to clone people. You know that all the time.
In fairness, that basically means that Terry McGinnis was kind of a proto Damian Wayne.
Mm, yeah, I suppose. If we're going by like when it was released and everything.
I mean, I'm fairly certain that Batman Beyond came
Yeah,
first.
Batman Beyond came like early 2000s.
it was 99.
Yeah, 99 to it went to like 2001 or 2002. Like,
Anyway, so yeah, that is a very good show, and everyone should go watch it. If you don't watch the show, at the very least, watch Return of the Joker.
oh yeah, with all the characters you won't recognize because you didn't watch the show.
Well, Terry McGinnis is Batman. There you go. That
That's all
pretty
you
much
really
sums up
need
enough
to
things.
know.
Terry
Yeah.
McGinnis is Batman. Barbara Gordon is the Commissioner. Bruce Wayne is the old codgery dude. That's all you really need to know.
I like old
Um,
Bruce Wayne
Everyone likes old Bruce Wayne.
he's so cool.
because it's like before he was like brooding and angry, but now that he's an old man, it suddenly
Now he's so
fits.
old, he just
Like he's
he
old enough.
literally doesn't have to give any fucks
Like
anymore.
he's just acting his age now. Like that's it.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly. It
he was a
fits.
crotchety old man all along. Now he's just embracing it.
All right, I think that's it for anime. Unless you got anything else we could talk about for it.
Time to choose another one, though?
Apparently, Batman and Batgirl were boning at one point in the show.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
it happens.
Wow. Huh.
Good for Bruce.
I
He was hot.
guess. Which iteration is this? Because I know she can be quite a bit younger than him.
This was Batman animated series, so memory serves, the timeline was she had a fling with Dick Grayson in college, and then when Dick decided, "Fuck this, I want to go and do my own shit with blackjack and hookers." I mean, not blackjack and, I mean, not hookers, Barbara. I mean, do you want to come with me? And she's like, "No, I'm gonna stay here with Batman." And he gets all pissy about it, and she stays, and it's sort of
Bow chicka wow wow.
basically, yeah.
Bone?
Hey, chicka bum bum. Um.
Bow wow.
Anyway, yeah, that was a weird detail, but
Thanks for
it's
the
cool.
extra background, Batman Beyond.
I thought people should know. So random A. Someone hit me up with a 27.
All right.
That. Okay. Oh, there it goes. Okay, never mind. I thought it was just a Wikipedia explaining what a random number generator was. 22.
22? 27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22 is you.
I don't have a good feeling about this.
5,
For a
6,
second, I
7,
thought he was going to
8,
say
9, 10,
Hakusho. I was going to be really excited.
15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 46.
This would be a random
45.
number. Damn it.
45?
I don't like this. I don't
Okay.
have a good feeling about this at all.
I played the visual novel of this one, so Utawarerumono.
Oh, I know that one. I played the visual novel of that one too.
It's pretty good.
And then I stopped playing because it got boring.
It was pretty good. I cried at the ending, I'll be honest.
You gotta link that for me, dog.
Okay, copy and paste.
I also think it's because I changed my computer, so I lost the game.
Yeah, so everyone get ready for the Tailgasm. That's the only thing anyone remembers about the show, but,
Oh, it's been so long since I've even...
Actually, you know what? I'm going to link that video as well. I'm going to see if I can find it on YouTube.
I remember that this guy had the mask and everything, and that...
Yep, found it.
Oh, boy.
That was fast.
Okay, for some reason, it's done to the fucking sound of the Numa Numa song. So, hang on, let me find another one.
No, don't. Don't find a new one. That's perfect.
You're a sick man, Slices.
If you're gonna have a tailgasm, you may as well just make it as outlandish as possible.
Okay, fine. Here's the video, God damn it.
I'm not gonna look at it, just so you know.
It's like 8 seconds long if you just want to watch the important bit. But yeah. Okay, so the plot of this show is dude with a mask has amnesia.
Why'd they put it to the song?
I don't know.
Wow.
Maria, Maria, Maria. I'm not even focusing on this. I just like the song because it's Numa Numa.
Yeah, the
No.
original version that I saw ages ago was a lot more. It got the moment down better, I think. There we go. I have to link that now. Great. Utawarerumono, which, by the way, if anyone's wondering, is referred to on 4chan as Underwater Eremono. The internet's fucking weird, guys.
Yeah, it really is.
It's a long time ago.
Hello. Yeah.
Okay, so guy with a mask attached to his face has amnesia, gets rescued by a girl with an animal tail and ears. Basically tries to take over the whole world for reasons. Shut up, Zero. To keep people safe or something. It was a visual novel with some turn-based strategy elements. So that's why that's a thing. And some battles happen, and he establishes a family, becomes a lord of a nation, and then some weird stuff happens. It's weird. But it's also kind of sad, hence me crying at the ending. Yeah, so.
I just commented why on this video. Just why? Why? I don't get it.
To get that reaction.
Pretty much. All right. So that's what we have to watch an episode of for next week. Utawarerumono. God damn, this whole concept sucks, Slicer. Why did you bring this up?
Sure.
This is your fault.
It was your choice to make it a thing. I mean,
it let me. I'm kind of. We've been swinging and missing repeatedly with these shows, but I got to watch Batman Beyond again. I had to have a reason to watch that again, so I'm kind of okay with it now.
There is that.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, it bought some goodwill from me for that.
It was a good show.
I don't know what you expect because like 95% of anime is absolute shit. So we're gonna find a lot of misses before we get any kind of gems.
Yeah. Makes me sad. Oh well. Alright, next is canon defilement. I need to put Batman Beyond in the fucking link. So canon defilement is our first topic. Which is a stupid concept. Or at least a stupidly named concept. Okay, canon defilement is a fanfiction trope where, or I suppose an adaptation trope, where you take an original story and you ignore some of the plot or setting conventions and implant your own instead. And that pisses off the audience. That's pretty much what that is. It pisses off the audience is the main function of this trope.
It sounds kind of like Flanderization, but for lore.
Not really. Flanderization is when you simplify a character to the point where they're just ticks. Canon defilement is just where you change something, and the audience loses their shit.
Yeah, like pretty much a simple thing is like just breaking up an official couple of any particular story.
Yeah.
For your own reasons.
God, anyone that doesn't ship Naruto and Hinata at this point, they must get so much shit from reviewers.
See, that's weird. I don't support that. I don't know.
It can be
You don't support what?
it can be more complex than that, but that's just the simplest one that I could think of off the top of my head.
Yeah, if
Okay,
you want
to
more
explain
complex, go on.
I ship Naruhina. I have for a long time. I don't support blindly supporting canon pairings. So my love of these two things is running into itself, and it's weird.
So, Slicer, if you were to describe your, you know, your interest in that particular pairing, and you were to perhaps describe it with, say, like a military rank, or I don't know.
I cannot believe you remember that. Oh wow.
With a title or something, I don't know. What do you think what would you refer to yourself as?
Yeah, the Knights of Naruhina thing. That was a joke.
Was it?
No, it wasn't.
It was, actually.
It's all right. It's all
We were
right.
trying to
I,
think
I
up faction names for the pairing war.
I get the feeling it was a joke in the sense that you wanted it to be joke, but you took it a bit too seriously anyway.
No, thankfully, no, I didn't.
The Knights of Naruhina have been taken over by the New Order of Naruhina.
Sure, I mean,
The
that
ones that support the canon.
blindly, without knowing anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's one example of canon defilement that is, like Kenji said, a pretty simple one. If you want more complicated, then you could go with, say, any story that has ever written a Fate Stay Night, any writer that has ever written a Fate Stay Night fic, or anything from the Nasuverse, because no one actually cares that much about the goddamn rules except for you, you fucking idiot, because if anyone tries to write using every single goddamn rule that comes from the Nasuverse, then they're gonna fucking kill themselves because it's so fucking complicated that no one cares about it.
When I started
Yeah,
writing my
Why?
when I once wrote like a few chapters of a crossover between Persona and Fate Stay, and I was just like, whatever. I don't know any, I hardly know any of these rules that are outside of like Fate Stay Night. And I feel like, he will take, oh, it's Fate Stay Night. I can't just take it as just Fate Stay Night. I have to refer to all the other canon material out there for the Nasuverse.
no, you don't.
Yep.
Please don't.
Yeah, people seem to forget that. You should be able to take a story for what it is, just in the story, when it's self-contained within it.
Yeah, I mean, Fate Stay Night was a self-contained story.
Yeah,
I mean, it doesn't need anything from any other part of that particular setting.
yeah.
Whatever.
Not until you get to like the
Scumbag.
Nasuverse crossover stuff.
Do they actually do much of that? I honestly don't know.
I don't know about animated stuff, but there was a few comics and mangas and stuff.
Hmm. I imagine they must have done something like that in one of the 60 different Fate reimaginings.
I remember
Something like
when
that.
Fate Stay Night and Tsukihime had that freaking hilarious crossover, uh, which Carnival Phantasm, which was just basically a comedy crossover, and it was fantastic.
Yeah, pretty much. I
This
wanted
the
to
one,
keep watching that, but I just kind of lost interest because I hadn't actually seen any of the canon material for Fate's Day yet.
like this one part where, like, all the servants and stuff are teamed up with their masters for like a race, and they're gonna be doing like all these car races and everything. And then Ilya just, since her servant is Berserker, she's just like, go Berserker, and then he just goes like a transformer, and he transforms into a car, and she's just like, Berserker.
Uh,
Yeah.
And it's just
Yeah,
the
it
greatest.
was a mess, but an entertaining
It's just
one.
the greatest thing, and I just couldn't stop laughing for like 30 minutes.
oh.
Does anyone have any examples off the top of their head for canon defilement? Like really
uh,
egregious ones that stood out to
Any
you.
story that basically manipulates canon history.
pretty much. Like, canon defilement can be big or small. Like, it could be. Well, I don't actually know. You could literally do anything, and it would be considered canon defilement by somebody. Because there are people that are that finicky about it, even for writing fan fiction, because they're idiots. Like, I don't even want to sugarcoat it. The people that are that picky about this sort of shit coming from fan fiction are idiots.
It's true.
Yeah.
There should definitely be a limit on how seriously you could allow yourself to take things.
it's it's not really a question of taking it too seriously. It's you. This is basically like the entire concept of fanfiction is changing things. It's changing the story. It's the entire point of writing it. Like you're doing something different that wasn't done in canon work because you wanted to see something done differently. So things are different. Idiots. But yes. So any change to canon, whether in the history of the setting or a change to a character, like say, for example, Ron the Death Eater is like a canon defilement, turning a character from a good guy or a pseudo good guy or an okay guy or whatever into a villain is a canon defilement. And as far as those go, it's a pretty popular one for people to pick on as things that shouldn't be done, air quotes. Um, and vice versa, the other one, I forget the name, where you turn a bad guy into a good guy for no adequately explained reason.
Yeah, as long as there's a good reason, I find if you can somehow justify that within the character and not have to go out of character and reach for that,
Mm.
like it tends to be fine. But
Yeah. Like, you're always going to have the people that will be mad about you doing things like that, regardless of how well you handle it.
yeah,
But if you handle it well enough,
that'll be a minority rather than the
those
majority.
idiots will be drowned out by the people that actually realize, hey, you're actually doing something interesting with this, not doing what everyone else is doing. You're not doing a fucking novelization of whatever you're writing about. Good on you. God damn it. Hmm.
Got anything else to gripe about? Because it sounds like you got some pent up
No, I
grievances.
think I'm good. I was,
You know
yeah.
what? You know what really defiles canon? Rape when it doesn't belong.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
that'll do it. Yeah.
yeah. I'm looking at you,
Me.
Undertale, and
Oh,
and the one where good old Seda Suji becomes a Dachi.
you mean the two where that happens? There were
I,
two of them.
don't get me
Is
started.
it two? I thought it was just the one story that was in multiple sections.
There's two. It's just I think one's worse than the other.
Yeah. There is the one where Seta is basically a nihilist and doesn't care about anything. That is the one where he comforts Chie about, hey, we're gonna go rescue Yukiko and everything's gonna be okay, and then has sex with her in a bathroom. And then they don't rescue Yukiko, and Chie hangs herself in that self same bathroom. Um, that's one of them. That's the less bad one.
Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't even read that far because I just didn't like it from the first chapter.
Then there's the other one.
Let's not even get into that.
I looked
We've
into the
ranted about it.
reviews for that. I didn't want to read it, and I was just like, okay, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad. Like I read like the first paragraph, and like you could
I think
tell.
it's called. I think it's called, if memory serves.
Don't name it.
I'm not going to link it, but if you are really morbidly curious, and by the way, I'm going to say if you're under 18, don't look at this. I normal circumstances, I don't say anything like that, but you will gain nothing by reading this. Literally nothing. You will just hate the world more than you already did. I believe it was called Setasoji the Magnificent Bastard.
Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
To clarify, in this story, he is in fact not a magnificent bastard. He is neither magnificent nor a bastard. He surpasses bastardry to what the fuck is wrong with you, person who wrote this story? Something is clearly mentally imbalanced in your fucking head, you crazy person who wrote about fucking rape in a story and made that
It's the theme.
practically
Yeah, you know that
a
question.
theme in your story and made the protagonist just
Yeah, you know that question we got last week about you ever just think of an idea that is just like, yeah, why the fuck did I think of that? This person clearly had no such filter at all.
No,
No.
he had that filter and thought, why the fuck did I think of that? I don't know. But apparently, well, I had the idea. Might as well see what I can do with it. That's my hopeful interpretation of what that process was. Um, yeah. So don't read that story. Is my suggestion. If you, like I say, if you're morbidly curious, that's what it was called, probably.
Yeah. Um,
But you will gain nothing from doing so.
He will not
it's
enable you any further than this.
that's kind of the best way to derail everything and destroy everything and defile canon. Uh, is to just let's make this person the worst, absolute scummiest person out of character. And but the thing is, say Suji doesn't have an established character, but even then, you have you have an established character later on in the other games and everything. But
You have the guidelines of a character based on what you can say.
yeah,
And those guidelines are pretty much decent human being.
yeah.
Oh, goddamn. Why did
Yep.
you bring up those, by the way, Zero?
Because it's canon defilement, and I can think of few things that defile canon more.
Okay.
It's true. Okay, here's the bottom line of it. For want of a nail and canon defilement are basically two sides of the same coin.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
So don't
Well,
fuck it up and you'll land on the good side.
I would argue they are the same thing, and you just get it's a crapshoot whether people like it or not, whether people are okay with it
Yeah,
on a
pretty much.
person to person basis. So if people are just saying, you changed it, this sucks, then you can probably safely ignore that opinion. If they give a reason why that doesn't make sense and you've contradicted yourself or something like that, yeah, they probably have a point, maybe. But if it's just a case of they changed it, now it sucks, don't listen to that person. Probably.
I mean, I don't know. I give all reviews like that at least a thought. If it's
Mm.
well constructed, I give it more of a thought, but still.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to say, sometimes even I get wrapped up in it. Like, there are certain things from the Harry Potter series that I think shouldn't be changed. Like, for example, there is a common trope in the Harry Potter fanfiction circle of nice goblins, which really constantly pisses me off. But even then, it's not so much that, oh, they changed it, now it sucks. It's, oh, they changed it, and now this interesting part of the setting is now sunshine and roses all of a sudden for no adequately explained reason. That bothers me more, I think. Like,
I'm usually okay with that because it just means that they can focus on the other parts of the story. They're not going to add drama from the goblins, basically.
okay, not to get too wrapped up in this particular argument, but it bothers me because you don't have to have, oh, the goblins will cause drama and all that shit. You could just have them be assholes, which is their portrayal in canon. And they will be assholes, they'll still help you, because, that's kind of their fucking job. But they'll be assholes about it. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with people being assholes just for the sake of being assholes. And the only reason people change that is because they want everything to be sunshine and roses.
Okay, that I would be against then, yes. It's either they're nice or they're outright evil. So there's really no asshole doing their job option that I've seen recently.
I've seen a few. The better fix that I've seen do that rather than just say, "Oh, everything they're all great and friendly and happy and want to help everyone that comes to them all the time," but everyone's just so mean to them all the time. um, or like you say, they're all evil and all have ulterior motives, and yeah, probably that's how people work. Um, I had a point and you sidetracked me. Shit. Um, but yeah, like I was saying, yes, people will bitch and moan about, oh, you changed it, now it sucks, and you've defiled canon and all that shit. Sometimes there will be a reason beyond, oh, you changed it, now it sucks. I think Slicer was trying to make that point earlier. Like, sometimes there is a reason as far as the story you're telling goes. Like, it's not so much damaging the canon work as it's damaging your work. That the change, you've made a change, and it doesn't work as well as it might have if you just kept things the same. I don't know. Take it on a case by case basis, but some people are just being shitheads about it, and some people might actually have a point. It very much
Yeah.
depends.
It
And
can
this
come
is,
down to author skill as well. Like if they make a
yeah,
change and they just don't have the skill to back it up, then it's a bad change.
yeah. Like, this is why if someone says something as blanket as you changed this and it sucks, then this is why you should prod this person that is reviewing and say, why does it suck? This is why we always say we like longer, more involved reviews, because there's not much you can do with a sentence like that. You changed it, now it sucks. Okay, does it suck because I changed it from what it used to be and you don't like that? Or it sucks because you don't like it and that's because it changed? It sounds like the same thing, but it's not.
It's
So,
similarly worded, but two very different outcomes.
so yeah, it's worth prodding the people that will give you such criticism and saying, okay, what is actually the problem with it? Elaborate, kind of thing. All right, now we need to move on because I really took that way further than I needed to. So, next topic is, I think Zero came up with this one, censorship across adaptations. So, an adaptation of a work happens, and it is not quite as whole as it was before. Some bits have been taken out or toned down a little bit and things like that.
Yeah. I brought this up because I just saw Deadpool, which they were just
Yes,
like,
you mentioned.
yeah, and they're like, screw that, we're gonna do it rated R, even if it's gonna hurt us, because superhero movies tend to sell more with the PG-13 crowd. Which, by the way, I believe a lot of kids have been sneaking into Deadpool. Uh,
Duh.
one dude actually brought his 6-year-old daughter in the theater we were in.
Nothing wrong with
So
that.
yeah, totally not.
I'm serious.
Oh, she saw her first penis that day.
There wasn't
Yeah,
actually any penises in that.
there is if you look for it, is what I've heard.
Okay, so it was some Tyler Durden shit. She saw some penis, but she'll never realize it.
Yeah.
Not until the
uh,
therapy she's clearly going to have.
there was a very long sex scene, I guess you could say. Uh, but
Yeah, that was yeah.
it was hilarious though. Um, but yeah, so basically, kind of a lot of people are liking Deadpool because it doesn't have that censorship. So when somebody gets cut, their limbs go flying, as opposed to, say, for example, if you have Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles who always like one of them has swords, but there's never any blood left on anybody, and like the Avengers where they do a lot of things like people should be freaking exploding from a lot of the hits that they take.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the fucking repulsor blast from Iron Man can blow up tanks and shit, and he uses it on a dude, and he just goes flying.
yeah.
He should be bits.
Or at
So
least have a massive hole in whatever place he got hit.
yeah. So what's your guys' opinion on that? When is censorship too much? And when's it really just like we really need it?
Well, if you're gonna do
That's
something in a movie, you need to show the result of it. If you're gonna chop somebody's arm off, you need to show somebody's arm getting chopped off.
no.
No?
You can infer a lot of the time. You don't need to show it, unless that's the tone you're going for. I
Hmm.
mean, think Star Wars Episode 5. Luke gets his arm chopped off. They don't show it, but you know that's what happened. Well, his hand, but still.
Yeah.
Wait, they don't show it? I thought they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did.
If they show it, it is entirely without blood, which is still censorship.
Well,
Which
it's a lightsaber.
yeah, it's a
So
lightsaber. It cauterizes the wound as soon as it cuts through.
Yes, let's be pedantic about this, shall we?
look, I get that one. If there was blood there, that would just be weird. It's
Yeah.
a sword made of superheated light.
Okay.
But yeah. Are there any real examples of censorship you've seen that just kind of irk you, that take away from the what you would say the core material is? Because I know the Deadpool crew was pretty adamant about not being censored because it would really affect the core material of who Deadpool is and what the tone of his story is.
Have you guys seen JoJo
Nope.
I've
or
seen
Tokyo
parts one
Ghoul,
and
the non-DVD version?
I've seen parts 1 and 2 online. Uh, I was just getting into
Okay, yeah.
part three.
So they use shadows to censor like gore and cigarettes in JoJo.
Mm.
So that I don't agree with, mostly because they just uncensor it for the DVD version. I guess part of it's because they don't want to show it on TV or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
That just
I
Tokyo
irks
guess
me.
I guess that's basically the same argument as High School DxD's censors, though. In fairness.
Tokyo Ghoul. Like there's a lot of scenes where they just basically cover up most of the entire screen in black because they can't show anything, and that's really, I'd say, annoying because it just becomes hard to just see what's going on. Uh, Granted,
I
it
don't get
is
that.
a
Why have it happen then?
because it's for the
Or why
DVD
even
release, and they
show the
have to
scene?
stay true to the manga, I guess. Or
Well,
sometimes
yeah,
they'll
that
just
that makes sense.
reverse the colors and everything. Uh, which, yeah, when it comes to anime, there's a lot of anime that's really not targeted for kids, and Tokyo Ghoul is one of them. So it kind of baffles me of why they would have to censor it. I mean, especially when you've got something like One Punch Man, where he punches people and they explode in blood. You know,
Okay.
That show is pretty gory, isn't it? Wow.
yeah.
I've
I
got
didn't
to
even think
defend
about
this.
it. 'Cause this-
Okay, you're really harping on this way too much as far as I'm concerned. Censorship is not just, oh, we need to fucking nanny people. Sometimes it can just be a stylistic choice, you realize.
I have a
no.
hard time realizing why obscuring most of the screen a large black shadow is stylistic.
Okay. How much you show from things like gore and sex and things like that has an effect on what the tone is of the show or the film you're watching is.
Yeah.
So if you have a lot of gore, then that lowers the tone.
And
a
what if
long
that's the
way.
original tone of the source material?
Then that's the original tone of the source material. That doesn't mean the adaptation has to stick with that tone. It's the same as, it's literally, again, canon defilement. You don't have to keep everything the same. You can tell slight variations on the story. You can change the aesthetic, the style, and all of these things. And it will be not necessarily a new story, but a new take, a new spin on that story. And there is nothing wrong with that.
I'm drawing a bit of a blank on examples of that. I'm sure it would work, but it still irks me. I just don't like censorship in general.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not a good example, but off the top of my head, Batman. Let's go back to Batman for a little bit, shall we? The Tim Burton films, uh, the 1989 Batman, Jack Nicholson as Joker, and then the next one, Batman Returns. Is that the one?
I think is it Batman Forever? It's one of them.
Batman Forever was the third one. And that is where the tonal shift happens because you have Batman and Batman Returns, which is all sort of film noir, kind of dark, sort of gritty, but still, very comic booky, so not overly gory most of the time, though it has its moments. Um, and then you have Forever, which massively changes the style and the tone of what it is. I mean, Two-Face supposedly has half of his face burned off, and it looks like he's just wearing half a rubber mask. Like I say, it's not an amazing example, but it is an example of taking the source material and altering the tone to tell a slightly different version of the story. Like, you can tell a grim, dark version of the story with gore and tits and all that shit, but you could also tell a story without any of that stuff and still tell a good story. Like, just because the source material has it doesn't mean that every adaptation has to be the same way.
Okay.
That's very shallow thinking as far as storytelling is concerned. If you're doing an adaptation, you can change things. That's the entire point.
Yeah, but
I mean, I get the knee-jerk reaction to the word censorship.
yeah.
That's fine. Nanny State, I get the problem with that. That's fine. But there is more to censorship than just we don't want to show this because we must protect the children. There's more to it than that sometimes.
What do you do if the adaptation comes out as an overall inferior product?
Then it came out as an inferior product. There's
Well,
sometimes
that doesn't really
you try
depend on the
something different and it's a
tone.
miss. That's fine. You can't blame that on, oh, it wasn't gory enough. You blame it on, oh, it just didn't work. They tried something different and it
Yeah.
didn't work.
And yeah. Um like for example, you know, I know for a fact that you know that Avengers has more of a image, that this is more acceptable for kids because of
Yep.
just how the tone is set and everything. And
Yep. It's very bright, very colorful kind of
yeah,
thing, yeah.
but I will say that at least for Avengers, that doesn't seem to harm it at all. At all, actually, it's more to its benefit. Whereas with Deadpool, the lack of censorship does actually help it, and a lot of people were saying it's nice to see a superhero movie where it's not so constrained.
Yeah. I would argue, yeah, in your favor. Basically, Captain America Winter Soldier probably could have done with being a little bit heavier on the casualties side of things.
Yeah,
On the that that film should have had some heavy shit in it. It did have some heavy shit in it,
but it could have
but
been
it
improved.
wouldn't have been hurt by having a bit more rough stuff going on in that film.
Yeah, Most people, I think, are just like there's some things that you just can't risk, and I think
Mm.
that's what comes down to is measure of risk of once you adapt something to a form where it's more available to a larger group of people, you do take a measure of risk of how people are going to respond to that work.
Mm.
Uh, so yeah, people have been really upset over Fire Emblem Fates being censored. Um, Yelling
That's
censored.
the. Mm. Okay, there's kind of a reason for that. It's not really censorship so much as. Okay, apparently there are parts of that game where you can. It's basically a furrow scene. The fucking bathing stuff that families sometimes do in Japan.
Yeah,
They'll go and visit a bathhouse and take baths together and things like that. That's not a thing we do in Western culture. That's fucking
yeah.
creepy in our culture. So I can understand why they got rid of that. It
And
just wouldn't
people got
mesh over
really
here.
mad that they changed the game where you can the basically just use the touchscreen to pet your units essentially.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't take all of that out. They took some of that
Yeah,
out, but
they made it so you can still have the conversations with the graphics and everything, and you can like do
no, they
little.
still have bits and pieces of the like touching the
Yeah,
units
I
and
know
such still.
but
It's
that's
just
only
not as prevalent.
for your the one you marry,
Mm,
which sounds a lot more appropriate.
yeah. I mean, I read an article on Giant Bomb about it, which basically saying, yeah, that kind of thing can be kind of creepy. Like the first thing you think about when you think touching a character on the screen, you think groping them.
Yeah,
But then it brought up things like the newer Pokemon games where you have Pokemon and Me thing where you can pet your
pet their
Pokemon and stuff
face,
like that.
like pat their head.
And it creates a connection, like a tactile connection between you and the character that you can't really get otherwise. Like that is an intrinsic part of human relationships is to touch each other like a reassuring pat on the shoulder,
Yeah,
things like that. It is a part of human interaction that for an interactive medium, it's just not something we could do before things like the DS and things like that. So
there's a whole group that got up in arms and they're trying to do a fan translation to remove to delocalize the game and quote unquote restore lost content.
yeah, okay, yeah, that group is probably going to be half pervy, creepy dudes, and half creepy dudes and creepy ladies. Let's not be discriminatory here.
Yeah,
And the
Of
other half
course.
is going to be people that are fucking weeaboos.
yeah.
So that's fine. Whatever. If it works for you, then it works for
On the
you.
list of things they wanted to put in the patch, one was change all the voice acting to the Japanese version.
I rest my case.
Yeah, so, sometimes people make a big deal over censoring and it's not even really an issue.
Mm.
Because in some things it's just to make sense or to fit the culture that it's being brought
Yeah,
to.
like the furrow thing is that's not censorship. That's literally just localization. That's making it so that it fits the context of the culture it's being released in.
Yeah.
Like some parent buys that for their kid. I'm using the parent example, but still, and they see that going on the screen, and think, "What the fuck kind of game did I buy?"
Yeah.
Hmm. And yeah, in the
Especially if it
Japanese
is
culture, that's don't interrupt me in the
okay.
middle of a sentence. In Japanese culture, that's perfectly fine. Over here, that's fucking weird.
It's
And any kid seeing playing that game would have it taken off them
it's a
immediately.
bit creepy, especially when you consider that some of the characters are underaged. So you know,
Yeah, and again, that is also still okay in Japan, but not here.
not here now.
Doubly not here.
So yeah,
Okay. Anything else to say about this, or are we moving
I
on?
think we had a nice discussion about it.
Yeah, went on fucking heavy topics this week. Jesus Christ. Um, yeah, we're at like almost an hour and 40. Jesus. Okay. Quickly, question that we got from Ethan F. What do we think about inserting crossover characters at the end of their arc? So, for example, you write a story about Naruto, and he's like 100 years old because he's immortal now, and he ends up going into, I don't know, say the One Piece setting. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, uh,
Or say, for
uh.
example, you have a character who's become a seal or something, and he ends up going into like the fairy tale setting or something.
Or you have like a character that's like 2,000 years old, but he's lived so long and has so much like energy that he can see spirits all of a sudden. He's like kind of weirded out by this, and then he goes to this place called Karakura Town.
You're
Uh,
just going after Kenshi with this, aren't you?
Pretty much, yeah.
I say it's fine. I I'm not like it's gonna be a different type of fic. Uh, as in there will be this tends to be the character being crossed over is significantly more powerful than everybody else ever.
Yeah. I mean, there's the
See,
power thing to take into account. There is also the character has gone through this shit before. They know the score at this point. So they kind of become, or they should, realistically, become either doesn't give a shit about anything or becomes sort of a wise mentor figure kind of
Yeah,
thing.
I'm
there's two
perfectly fine
ways
with
to
this.
handle these kinds of fix. Either the crossover character stomps everything and fixes all of the problems, or they become a mentor. So the vanilla whatever characters, the characters who belong in that setting
One
can
way
handle their own
to
problems, and then
one way
they
to
interfere if
subvert
they want to.
this, I'd say one way to subvert this would be to have somebody come in and they're really weak, but they do have their knowledge of everything that's come before, so they have to use that to survive and make it through everything.
Mm.
Basically, no powers, but hey, I know what to do.
Mm.
I have seen that done a few times. It
Yeah.
can be good. That depends on author skill.
Yeah,
Mm.
um, I am perfectly fine with this because there there are very few other times when you'll be able to really pull a character from their setting and put them somewhere else uh, without having to have that rush of oh yeah we need to get back to the main plot because with this you have like a character who's like yeah I'm done with my main plot so I can just play around in this world. So yeah, go for it.
Hey Kenshi, you remember that scene in the One Piece fic that you wrote where you had Naruto basically call out Luffy for being effectively retarded?
I don't remember. Might have happened a few
Uh,
times.
I think it went something along the lines of, I think it was in the Alabasta arc, and he's like watching Luffy being a dumbass, and he's like, okay, I did some stupid shit, like some childish stupid shit back in the day, but I was a kid. This guy's like a grown ass man.
he's
I
like
might
he's
have.
like 19.
Yeah, he's 17 before the time skip, but yes, that's still, come on.
I mean when Naruto was 17 he was Ninja Jesus.
He was, yes.
Yeah.
God, Luffy.
God,
When
get him.
Naruto was 17, he was the savior of the goddamn universe. What
God,
the fuck have you been doing?
get with the curve.
What was Goku doing when he was 17?
He was
Uh,
fighting Piccolo.
yeah, getting ready to fight
Ah,
Making
Piccolo.
babies.
Yeah, kind
Fighting
of. He was just
Piccolo and
about to
making
start making babies.
babies, and not at the same time.
It would have been awesome if he.
well, you never know. That Piccolo Jr. thing happened, and we don't really get
I
that much
mean,
of an
I mean,
explanation.
Goku kind of did have a hand in that, so I guess
Yeah, he
kind of.
did kind of fist Piccolo a little bit.
That's a missed joke opportunity, DBZA.
Yeah.
Well. Anyway, so that's that question. Thank you for that question, Ethan F. Recommendations. Who's got one?
I lost mine. I gotta
I got
find
one.
it again.
Go ahead.
Mine is why can't I take the ring after I fight Artorias, which is a Dark Souls fic, which is incidentally exactly what we're talking about. It's a self-insert, obviously, and the main character is, as you would expect, really weak at the first. He eventually gets a lot stronger, but at first he sells himself as a prophet since he knows what's happening, and basically gathers a party of people to fight for him. It is. It starts as basically crack and fourth wall humor and stuff, but it actually gets really good. And it's even got a sequel where he winds up in Dark Souls 2 just because.
I like it when a story does that, when they start off kind of silly, but then they grow into something more.
Yeah. Also, the sequel is really just like a vacation because it's end game character going into Dark Souls 2. So there's no challenge for him at all when he beats everything.
Yeah, I did this, yeah.
Ish. I mean, he'd be what? Soul level 125?
No.
I'm 200 at this point.
No. I mean, like, things happen that are more advanced and more powerful than canon Dark Souls in the end of the fic. So he has to be a lot stronger than that.
I might have to read that.
Also, if anybody's read I forget what the name is, but the first like 12 chapters, I don't mirror another fic, and I don't know which the original is because they seem to have come out around the same time. So if you read something similar, it does eventually split off from that one.
Okay. I don't have anything to say other than go watch Deadpool. It's my favorite movie of the year. It's also the...
It's February.
It's also February. It's also the first movie of the year I've gone to theaters to see.
Okay, things that I read. I'm looking at fucking Space Battles again.
Speaking of which, while you were looking for the thing that you're looking for, I read that fic you recommended last week, and I have to say it was a great use of my time.
Which one was that?
Mom, I Don't Want to Be a Pirate.
Oh, right, yeah.
That's a fantastic use of my time.
Yeah. There is supposedly NC-17 version on QQ, but I haven't read it, so I don't know whether it actually changes anything.
I don't think it really needs it.
Does he actually date anyone or get close to him like that?
There are flirty interactions with Bonnie, which supposedly are turned up a bit in the QQ version. So if you want to read that, I can go read that. The audience. Or Ken. If Ken wants to read that, it's fine. Okay, the only one that I still have on this list is called Water and Lightning. It
sounds like a great combination.
It is a Pokemon fic. It is basically, all right, plot summary. End of the Johto arc. Ash and Misty decide not to separate. Brock goes and does his own thing. Ash and Misty head for the Hoenn route, and except they fuck up their travel plans and end up in a place called the Badlands instead.
Oh boy!
Whoops.
That's a little bit of a wrong turn.
Yeah, the Badlands, turns out, are a fucked up place. They have no league, no real regulation. There are supposedly Jennies, though they are few and far between. Pokemon centers also, though few and far between, and very poorly supplied. Maps don't work particularly well because if you try and go back and find the trail that you lost, then you will just end up going around in circles. The nights are filled with the screams of something. They haven't quite figured out what. And Team Rocket are still following them, but have decided, fuck it, we're gonna murder these guys now. We want that fucking Pikachu, motherfucker, kind of thing.
Wow.
So, yeah. That's pretty much what the fic is. It does a very good job of portraying the characters as having a really fucking hard time. Like, it does a good job of showing how much they have to rely on each other to keep each other alive. And it's pretty goddamn cool.
Casey?
Mm-hmm.
I searched up water and lightning fan fiction, and I found this. Abuso and a Jolteon are stranded on an island, rated M for adult situations.
Jesus.
Do not read further if you are under 18 or offended by Pokemon sexual relationships. Otherwise, enjoy to your heart's content.
Thanks, Zero.
Well, I mean, you kind of watched that Undertale on about 3 weeks ago, so
Yeah,
kind
but
of.
the thing is, I'm not dumb enough to go and read that, so just saying.
Oh, it's on Space Battles. Okay, that would explain why I
Yeah,
can't
it's
Google it.
yeah. So it's pretty good. It's only a few chapters long so far. It's written by the beta for that Buffy self-insert fic I mentioned a few weeks ago.
Mm.
She does a good job.
Mm.
She's done a couple of things of a similar vein. Like there's another fic she's done, which is basically phone calls between whomever and Misty, basically begging her to solve their problems. Uh, Basically devolving into poker shipping. So, if that's your bag, that's pretty okay too. That one's finished. It's like 4 chapters. I'm getting a text.
Why would she fix their problems? I'm confused.
Uh, like Ash has problems getting along with, say, May or Brock,
Oh, okay.
uh, and they ring her to sort of play mediator because, for whatever reason, Ash listens to her despite arguing with her constantly.
Yeah, I was
So,
gonna say they didn't really get along either, so I'm not sure. Okay, whatever.
it kind of
I guess
works.
they traveled together the longest. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. That's my recommendation anyway. So it's pretty good. I'm constantly getting texts. Oh, God damn it. All right. We really need to wrap this up. By the way, it was my birthday today that we recorded this, so that's why I'm getting texts all the time because
Yeah!
it's people wanting to come round and say happy birthday and such things.
Happy
So,
effing birthday!
Happy
thanks.
And
birthday!
we can sing the song now, I think.
No, you can't. It's another month before
We
they
can't actually.
Damn it!
do the decision.
Are you
How
sure?
old have you?
Because
How old
Yes,
have
I'm
you
sure.
turned,
I looked it up.
Casey?
27.
Yay! Happy birthday!
I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode 122. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can do so through the YouTube channel through the comments. Please donate on Patreon if you feel so inclined. Once again, I would like to thank everybody for listening to the Fandom Flux Podcast episode 122. Bye now.
See you guys.
goodbye.
Iskumbaya,
Happy birthday.
Pasati.
Right. This is an addendum to the fucking episode. I forgot to mention, um, we are not having a podcast next week, technically. Instead, we will be doing the thing that we've been talking about for a fucking year. Watching that fucking Naruto movie. Yay!
Yay! It's gonna be like Mystery Science Theater, except there's gonna be no mystery and no science.
Let's
Or
throw
more
all
accurately, like riff tracks.
let's throw all the shipping into 2 hours and just tear Slicer apart for 2 hours. That sounds like a
That's
lot of
basically
fun.
It'll
the
kill me.
plan. Mm-hmm.
All right, yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So we'll be doing that. So, bye.
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 See you guys.